Hi, I'm Betsy Rosenfeld with the Center for Governmental Studies. Welcome to Proposition Preview 2008. With me now is Dr. Donald Aitken, former senior staff scientist with the Union of Concerned Scientists. He's here today with Yes on Prop 7. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, let's get started right away with why should Californians vote yes on Prop 7?
Well, for two reasons. First, they can. California is richly endowed with the major renewable resources of sun and wind and biomass and even geothermal. So they can set very, very high standards and achieve them economically and technically. And second, because we can, we must. And the states and the nations that can take the leadership must take the leadership in order to reduce the dangers of global warming and climate change.
Can you clarify a little bit how Proposition 7 would work?
Well, Proposition 7 sets goals. It starts at the present law where 20% of the electricity must come from renewable energy by 2010. And it increases that by 2% per year. So by 2020, 40% electricity would be clean, and by 2025, 50% of California's electricity would be from clean energy. That's the primary goal of the proposition, and then it has a lot of other terms to facilitate that.
So who are the biggest supporters of Proposition 7 moving this forward?
Well, initially it was the 740,000 people who signed the initiative to put it on the ballot, and that was way more than was necessary. But since that time, we've had some major and very high-level support that has emerged. The Community Environmental Council in Santa Barbara has been an early supporter, but we've got 3 Nobel Prize winners from California who have come out with strong support, and they are Dr. Walter Cohn and Dr. Alan Heeger and Dr. Herbert Kramer. We have the former President Pro Tem of the California State Senate, John Burton. We've got David Freeman, the former director of TVA and later of Sacramento Municipal Utility District, Congressman Pete McCloskey, Dolores Huerta, who co-founded the United Farm Workers Union, and I, for that matter. As former senior staff scientist with the Union of Concerned Scientists, I was instrumental in introducing the very kinds of policies that we have in here, and have now had to split with my own organization because I think they're wrong on this one.
Well, speaking of your opponents, tell me, what do you say to the other side's arguments against Prop 7?
I say read the initiative. Initially, the opponents came out right away with some opposition, and after we told them to read the initiative and to do their math, they had to publicly withdraw those oppositions, and they're continuing to do that. The initiative itself contains enough material for legal interpretation that will support our goals. One of the signers, I won't use names, but one of the signers of the ballot opponents told me just recently that he hadn't read the initiative. He's just taking the word of his colleagues. And so that's where they really fall into trouble. The careful reading says that the initiative has enough in it to interpret it legally to attain our goals.
Now, you've gone through some of them, but let's lay out for the viewers, what are the most important arguments in favor of Prop 7?
Well, the most important arguments are both environmental and they're economic. The economic one is we will become the clean tech leaders for the country. We will attract tens of billions of dollars worth of new industry in California. We've estimated that we'll create at least 370,000 new jobs in California. And environmentally, we'll reduce our own emissions of carbon dioxide by something like 50 million metric tons per year.
Well, you've already sort of addressed this, but what would be the biggest long-term impact on Californians, everyday people, if it passes?
Well, the long-term impact will be in several ways. The state itself will be economically stronger. The utility rates will stabilize as we get 50% from fixed cost renewables, which is going to be very important for industry. Other benefits is that this is the people's initiative. This is the people's way of developing new policy. And it locks it in such a way that it's not subject to the whims of future legislatures and governors to overturn. So we have the assurance of a stable policy.
I want to thank you so much for coming in today. Best of luck on Election Day, and hope to see you soon.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.